Dialogues and Decibels event. I am here with the talent behind Forge, a movie that's premiering at South by Southwest. If you guys could all just quickly introduce yourselves, and then I'll jump right into the many questions I have.
Hi, I'm Kelly Marie Tran.
Hi, I'm Brandon Suhu.
Hi, I'm Jing.
I'm Edmund Donovan.
I'm Eva de Dominici.
Cool. Well, welcome. So, Jing, I have to start with you because you wrote and directed this awesome movie. Can you talk a little bit about the inspiration behind making this movie, which is set in the art crime world in Florida? What inspired you to write this movie?
Well, I'm kind of a white-collar crime nerd. Reason being, when I was a teenager, I found out a distant relative of mine had been to jail for a white-collar crime, and I found out on Wikipedia. My parents had never mentioned it, ever, and I thought I had the perfect family before that, so it kind of shattered this illusion I had. And so the inspiration for Forge kind of grew out of that, like me trying to digest like what it means to be Asian American right now, and grappling with the myth of the model minority. So I combined that with my love of art forgery and got this script.
Perfect. Yeah, what I appreciated about the movie is that it, centers Asian American people, but it's not about that. That's just seamlessly part of the movie, and it does bust the model minority myth. So that was clearly a conscious decision when you were writing, but when you were actually making the script, how much were you thinking about that actively, and also what's the process like of blending it with the suspense of the movie?
Yeah, totally. I think being Asian in America, like you deal with the assumption that a lot of people have that you're automatically a good person, and the protagonists in the script are a sibling duo that forge art. They're criminals, and they use that myth of the model minority to kind of forward their scheme. And then on the other hand, you have the FBI agent, and she does fit that myth in a way. So this movie is really like tearing it apart, and also I love the crime genre, and I can't remember the last time I saw an American crime movie with two female Asian leads, and I wanted to bring that to life.
Awesome. And then can all of you talk about what your reaction was when you read the script and why you wanted to play the roles that you're playing? Kelly, we can start with you. We'll go like this.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, Jing brought such a specific world to life. And not only does the city of Miami play a really big role, but also the detail in the art forgery process itself. She's a genius. We love her. And it's just been such a joy to be a part of, truly, and just to get to know these amazing fellow cast here.
Also, when I got the script, I was just really struck by how interesting it was and how unique of a premise it was. I don't think I've ever seen something with the premise of two, Asian siblings in an Asian, crime enterprise, doing art forgery in Miami. It was a very unique premise. Also, it was really cool to, see roles that were very much not stereotypically Asian roles and characters. You really were doing a good job at kind of stretching out what it means to be an Asian American actor. So really, really fun role to play with.
Yeah, I loved it when I first read it. There's a moment at the beginning of the movie starts with Coco, who's Brandon's character's sister, kind of introducing us to their scheme. And without giving too much away, the way that Jing introduces that in the script, I thought was very impactful and really exciting. And then the movie continues to be very exciting. And my character is this, scammy kind of old money guy. And I thought that dichotomy was really interesting. This guy who was both very kind of scammy, and also very privileged was a sort of bizarre and interesting combination.
I agree with you all, and just to make it easy. But yeah, when I read the script, it was super fun, super fun, and the location was incredible. I've always wanted to shoot in Miami, and also I loved how original it was, how it laughs about stereotypes. yeah, I thought that it would be a really good opportunity to meet this new incredible director, and of course I knew Kelly and you. I wanted to work with you. But yeah, it was. I think we all got along, and it was I don't know. It felt like a community, like family.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is also a directorial debut. Can you talk about what was like a feature directorial debut? What was it like on set for you to actually see it all coming to life, your words coming to life? What's something unexpected that you learned that you think most people probably don't even know about when it comes to directing a movie like this?
Oh, yeah, I think, it's a dream to direct a feature, and it was something I had been working towards for like a decade. And so when I was finally there and doing it, it felt so surreal, but I'm so grateful that most of the collaborators on this film are people I knew from film school. And it's so funny when they talk about networking within the film industry, they're always like talking about this powerful producer you can meet. And really what I found on this feature was it really was the people I met in school that I have been working with for almost a decade that like really carried me through and kept me excited through the entire process. And I think we're all incredibly proud of what we've done.
Yeah, definitely. Now, a lot of this movie features scenes where art is being forged. What was the kind of like research? I know you said you're a fan, but what was the kind of research you did? And what was it like to bring all these like set pieces to life and have to interact with them so much?
I read a lot of books, watched a lot of documentaries, like emailed some art forgers who never replied, but really, like, I did everything I could to learn more about the specific white-collar crime of forging art. There's, so much out there, and I think in the art market itself, we still have no idea how many forgeries are actually out there, so it was a fascinating topic to research for years.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, also, like, crime movies have existed since always, but what I appreciate about this one is that it doesn't have, like, a high-stakes shootout. It doesn't have anything crazy. The suspense slowly builds, and it's a lot in the writing and the interaction between all of these characters. What was it like for you guys to, like, work so closely together, and yet your characters have an animosity even though they're working together? For you and your sister's character and for both of you. What was it like to bring to life when four of y'all were working together?
Yeah, I mean, yes. It was really fun. I mean, Brandon and I had a lot of that. There's a couple things that come to mind, again, without giving anything away, where we kind of have it out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, those were some of my favorite days, but that's because Brandon and I get along so well, and it always felt really fun to do. But you're right, it's an interesting distinction. The movie doesn't, like, reach a boiling point ever in that sort of traditional, like, thrillery way. It's much more subtle than that, and it's not a thriller because of that. It's a crime dark comedy, and yeah. But it was always those scenes were some of my favorite on the shoot for sure.
Oh, what about you guys?
Yeah, my experience of it was absolutely the opposite. All of the animosity that was portrayed on screen came from a very real place.
Oh no!
I hated all of them. No, not at all. These were, just what he was saying, man. It was really such a family on set, and everyone really felt like homies. And it's such a funny experience to, like, turn that off when they hit action. To be like, now we're beefing it. But yeah, I think aside from the on-screen beef, it was actually a very comfortable set to shoot on.
Awesome. And then, do you wanna add to it? I don't want you not to answer.
Kelly.
Yeah, I think. Well, for me, it was a mystery what was going to happen on set because we didn't actually rehearse, and I'd always imagined my character as, like it's interesting because you can see my character as Holden's trophy wife easily can be seen like that, but and she has this innocent kind of look, this oblivious look with her high-pitched voice, and but in reality, she's much more street smart than her husband. Well, she's actually about to marry him, and she's gonna make a mistake. But it was a mystery because I wanted to know how he was going to portray it, and he helped me so much. You helped me so much. I think when I got on set, it was you know, it clicked. Everything like that I imagined in my mind, like I saw it on screen, and then I had him, and it was like, oof, it felt real. I don't know if you felt the same way, but it just worked.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then Kelly, your character comes in. You play an FBI agent who very smartly starts to figure things out. What was it like for you to play someone who like comes in and I guess tries to bust that operation? And again, it's not really a big bust. You have a great interaction in the end, not to spoil anything. But what was it like for you to come into the scene and try to, I guess, ruin whatever they have going on, their little scheme?
Yeah. Well, after hearing them all speak, I'm like, wow, I'm sad I wasn't in these group scenes. Y'all were having a great time, and I was just like eating sandwiches in cars by myself. Truth. But it was amazing. I think that you touched on it before, and then Brandon was saying a little bit about it too, but it's not very often that there are films like this that, represent like where Asian people get to be something we haven't seen them be before. So it was really cool to be playing a character that I think for a period of time I didn't know that it would ever be something in my realm of opportunity. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just had the most incredible time working with everyone, and what a joy.
Yeah, I mean, kind of following up on that, what kind of roles were you looking for when the script came to you? And what is that like? Playing someone like this, is that why you said yes to it? Because you were looking to do a lot of different things, a lot of different genres?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear everyone else's opinion on this too as actors. I feel like I don't want to speak for everyone, so I'll speak for myself, but I'll say I think that as an actor and as an artist, the dream is to be able to be a chameleon and come in and out of different types of people and to surprise yourself at the end of the day. And yeah, I think becoming part of this film particularly, I'm such a huge fan of independent film and mm-hmm. And telling interesting stories, and this was all of those things.
Yeah. Does anyone want to add to that? Okay, perfect. So we've established again that everyone's a fan of crime genres. I'm curious, what is your favorite movie? And on set, were you guys talking about like influences and inspirations while creating something that's also very unique? Anyone can go for it.
Yeah, I mean, talking about inspiration and kind of like the topic of art forgery, making a film is pretty similar in the sense that you're taking inspiration from people who came before you. Mm-hmm. And film and cinema, I'm a big film fan, and I'm always looking at directors I respect to kind of draw inspiration from. So like I don't think anything is truly original personally, and so that's what Forge is about, partially, like the topic of art forgery is really pertinent to that, and making art. Everything has to come from a place, and especially just like as my first time feature, debut, like, of course I'm looking at other places, so.
Awesome. And then this movie obviously has an amazing cast, but there's also really cool appearances from people like T.R. Knight and Sonia Walger. Can you talk about the casting process and, what it was like to bring all these people together?
We got really lucky because we are a small indie film, and the first person who boarded the project was T.R. Knight, who got his hands on the script for some reason, and he pitched himself for this project. I did not write the character with him in mind, but he came to the meeting and he made me feel like Christopher Nolan. That's how much he loved my script, and I still think of that so fondly because for my first feature, like, it meant so much that he had this belief in me as a filmmaker, but this story as well. And then from that, everybody started coming on board, and we were able to build this like beautiful ensemble cast, and also opening up the call for the two main characters and finding Raymond and Coco and Brandon and Andy respectively. Yeah. Like, it was such a beautiful experience. When when people say they can't cast a full ensemble Asian film, they're lying. There's so much talent out there to be seen, and I saw it. So.
Yeah. Definitely.
Can I just jump in for 1 second? I just wanted to shout out TR, who's not here,
yeah.
who was such an incredible joy to work with. And I know you saw the movie. The scenes where he's eating those pancakes, he was so committed. He was eating pancakes full of syrup every single take, and I just think he's such a phenomenal actor. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like TR Night, and as you'll see in the opening scene, it really immediately you start to you think it's going one way because of how it's going, and then in 20 minutes, and you're like, oh, this is not what I expected. That building that kind of suspense, I guess. When you're writing the script, what kind of things are you thinking about in terms of themes and how to manipulate the audience, kind of?
Yeah, I mean, like, art forgery is about artifice, right? The entire premise of the film hinges on things not being what they are. And so that carries through to the characters. Like, the characters are not what they seem to be. And so I hope, like, when everyone watches this film, when it premieres, that they see that, you know, our stereotypes and our instincts on how to judge people are oftentimes really, really wrong, and that's a theme that carries out throughout the entire script.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I'm excited for people to see this movie. I had a blast talking to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too.
Of course, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Dropped my phone in the middle of the
No, I was like, do I pick it up?
Yeah,
And then she
I was
has to-
like-
So we'll let it slide.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.